Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 5 of the Troll the Edge podcast. My name is John Molfetto. I'm joined by my good friend Mark Henderson, captain of the Liquid Fire Fishing Team. Mark, how are you this evening?
I'm doing well, John. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
Man, I'm doing wonderful. I am excited about tonight. We got a fun one planned.
We got a lot of fun getting ready to happen tonight. We got a lot to cover this evening, that's for sure. So
let's not wait. Let's get right into what's getting ready to happen. You guys are about to have a busy weekend.
Yeah, man, we are. I got the first leg of the Cape Lookout Shootout South getting ready to happen, and there's just a lot going on in the industry right now. Got a lot going on in the sport. The starting to heat up. Tournament fishing starting to begin. And there's been some cool things already happening. So excited about that. And, we had real quick take care of some housekeeping stuff. We would appreciate the opportunity, if you get it, to go to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/liquidfirefishing, subscribe and check all these podcasts and some cool things that we've got on there. And please, as they say, like and subscribe, right?
Absolutely.
But, a couple weeks ago, we had some unbelievably accomplished captains on the show with us, John. Captain Alex Burgess and Captain Ron Mitchell, both of them from down the West Palm Beach area. And, the podcast went very well, had a lot of feedback on it, which was very positive. They shared some great intel, some great stories, and, some experience that these guys have. And then tonight, we thought it'd be really cool to bring in some youth into this, but the audience tonight is going to have a lot of fun, and we're excited about that. But anyway, a couple quick updates wanted to go through, John. We got down in South Florida, Jamie Bunn runs the Blue Water Movements tournament. The summer series is getting ready to start this weekend. So there's going to be quite a bit of activity down there. It's always a great multi-species event, big fish event, big kings, big wahoos. There's a lot of cool things that are getting ready to happen right there. So that'll be this Saturday. He always has a great captain's party. And then in addition to that, Swansboro 5-0, they had 2 openings through attrition, and they filled those extremely quickly.
A couple of weeks within minutes.
Yeah, it didn't take long. That's one of the events. Obviously, it started a lot of the chain of what's going on with tournament fishing right now. And those guys are going to have those gentlemen on in within the next few weeks as well to share their stories. They're not only great tournament directors, but they're also great fishermen on that put this on with the Swansboro Rotary Club. So that filled up.
And they run a great tournament when the attrition is only 2 boats a year, right?
Unbelievable.
Everybody wants to come back. Everybody wants to keep fishing it. So kudos to them.
Yeah, for sure. They do a great job. And then Captain Mark Pincus down out of Hilton Head, South Carolina. He runs quite a few different things. Wahoo series, is also running a Mahi series and tournament series right now, doing a great job with that. So if you get a chance, check out Captain Mark Pincus and the South Carolina Mahi series. So Mark does a wonderful job there. And then also that kind of wrapped up with what we've got here tonight with a couple of our guests. The Southern Kingfish Association, there were a couple of events added to Division 1 and 2 that correlate to the Cape Lookout series with Chad and the group. The David Pennington King Mackerel Tournament, which is unbelievably popular event. I think it's gone on for the last 2 years, had over 100 boats in it.
Over 100 boats.
Yep. Yeah. Unbelievable. And so that's going to be a Division 1. And then the third leg of the Cape Lookout Shootout Classic Series in the South is going to be in Division 2. So for the SKA. So combined partnership there. They've got some other events that we mentioned last time that are also going to be in Division 1. But with Chad being on the show tonight and the recent announcement since our last podcast with the David Pennington and the Leg 3 in the South. And then also something that's really cool in the Morehead City Open. We had Ron Dorsey on with us a few weeks back, and David Lucas's tournament, the King of the Cape. That is now taking the place of what used to be the North Carolina Troopers tournament. So that's going to be partnered with the Morehead City Open. So that's a very cool thing to see. That'll bring
for sure
David's tournament as well.
Yeah, hopefully that'll increase the participation there, and one of the things I was worried about is it sat on another event so that we were going to participate in. So we're happy to see that, and now we'll get to fish both events. So
it was nice to see that combination and then open that up for the fishermen, so they didn't have to make those hard choices. So that was a great job by all involved there. So that leading into what's fixing to happen this weekend that you just mentioned when we first got on is the first leg of the Cape Lookout Shootout Tournament Series, the South Division, and that's getting ready to happen. Starting Thursday night is the captain's meeting, and then Saturday is fishing time. So so we've got another couple of cool guests that are coming in. Chad Shingleton, who's been with us a few weeks ago. And then also we've got Tim Matthews, who's the owner of Lid Licking Sauce, who is also a sponsor and supports the Cape Lookout Shootout Series. And we wanted to get him on and let Tim give a little bit of a background of what he does and why he's chosen to partner with the Cape Lookout Shootout Series. So we're honored to have Chad Shingleton and Tim Matthews with Lid Licking Sauce on right before we get to speaking with the young men that people are here to talk about. So Chad, Tim, welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Hey, welcome, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely, guys. So Chad, we all that leading up to, tell us a little bit about, what's fixing to happen. I know Shell's got you straight, right?
Well, she's got me stressed. What about straight? No, I mean that's what we did today. We got the banners. Mike Lucas is taking care of all that stuff, the sponsors and everything that goes along, way tickets, registration forms, all the little things that have to happen to make it all happen. So yeah, we're pulling it. Got good bait soaking, so the important stuff's out of the way, and so now we can concentrate on pulling this thing off this weekend. Hopefully the good Lord allows the weather. That's all we can ever ask for.
Yeah, for sure. Well, all know that's the that's the smoking gun right there. You never know what's going to happen there. But well, I know you're excited. I know there's a lot going on in the background with all the volunteers, certainly Michelle and Dustin and David, everybody that's involved in the Cape Lookout Shootout Series. So we appreciate that. Always going to give kudos for that. We know how hard all of you work, and we appreciate that. And then honored to have your son, Carson, on with us tonight too. But we're going to get to all that. But Chad, Tim, thank you for joining. Chad, give us a quick intro real quick and talk to us a little bit about Tim. And then we'd like to talk about Tim's involvement. And before we get to the young men, and make sure that we cover all our bases and give the kudos to who needs it.
Absolutely. Well, Tim Matthews with Lid Licking Sauce, Cliff Parker, Ethan's dad, introduced us last year, before going into last year. And if there's one thing Tim Matthews does is love to cook. And not only does he love to cook, he's also a good cook. And
Thank you.
And yes, sir,
Yeah,
absolutely. And you can look at most of us boys and tell we know a good cook when we see one.
Absolutely.
So, but Tim just kind of took off last year. He cooked at three of our events and basically donated everything as a partner. And I mean, when you're talking about the expense, golly, of what it costs to put on these events with feeding and all, you can imagine how big of a deal that was. But Tim, to my understanding, he is retired. He's retired, but this is his love. Our love's fishing. His love's the barbecuing. I mean, we all have our thing to keep our sanity, if you will.
Yeah.
And just had his wife and friends and people that are partnered up with him was a great fit for us. And like I said, the food was outstanding. And what they care about, their meaning to what just like the shootout. I mean, you care about other people and what they do, and it just fit.
Well, that's a great segue into what, Tim, the opportunity to have you on board and the partnership that you share with Cape Lookout Shootout. You don't just share it with the tournaments, you share it with the fishermen and everybody that's so involved with the events and fishes the event. So we appreciate it. Thank you very much. And we'd like to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about your love, why you decided to jump in with the Cape Lookout Shootout, and tell us a little bit about Lid Licking Sauce.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the invitation. Cliff Parker, Ethan are good friends. Known them a long time. Ethan and my son grew up together. So I contacted Cliff and said, how could I, collaborate with, the fishing tournaments that y'all are competing in. And he put me in touch with Chad, and we worked out some dates, and we did cook and donate all the food, and so that y'all could use your funds for other things. But I created lid licking sauce. I've had it forever. The original Carolina Sweet Heat, I've been making it forever and using it. And what I've been barbecuing with, and I was sitting around after I sold all my businesses in 2021, and somebody said, you need to bottle this. That's a dangerous term, but I did, and then I was told that it wasn't hot enough, and so I came up with a habanero that was hotter, and my mother said that those two had too much spice in them, so I made a mild sauce for my mother. So I have 3 flavors. They're award-winning. The hot habanero won first place at the Pinehurst Pitmasters Festival in September.
Nice.
The Carolina Sweet Heat placed 4th out of 600 entries in the National Barbecue and Grilling Championship in Nashville, and it just placed 3rd overall of all meats in the Barbecue News Sauces of Honor. So, and there was 550 entrants there.
Wow,
so
Tim,
we're excited.
Awesome.
The most important thing, though, is our secret ingredient, and Chad had addressed that. Our secret ingredient is philanthropy. I've always had a special place in my heart for developmentally challenged children, and so I've been giving to them for a long time, and now I found a way to create more money so I can give more to them. Since we started bottling in September of 24, we have now passed the $36,000 mark.
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
It's just creating a great opportunity for me to reach out and help others. Working with Shootout is exciting. Just a great bunch of people.
Well, that's awesome to hear, Tim. It's, we had some other fantastic charities with a couple of other podcasts. When we first started just talking about the Brandon Reed Foundation, and then now that with what you're doing and the ability to support special needs and children and that type of thing, it's just, it's heartwarming, and we appreciate that very much. And the platform that you've got, and the platform that the Cape Lookout Shootout provides is, it's enough can't be said for that. And it's exciting to see and appreciated for what you do. And what people do that are like you. And it's, a lot of good things that are going on that sometimes people don't get recognized for.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I really do.
Do you have a passion for fishing at all, Tim? Do you go fishing?
I did, and I tried, and then I've gotten so daggone busy with this. I don't have much time. It's, about the only time I get to cook's when I'm doing stuff like for Chad now.
I got you.
It's gotten very busy, but I mean, that's a good thing.
So retirement's keeping you busier than you were when you were working, probably.
I am. Yeah.
How do you like being around a bunch of old fishermen?
Do I?
How you like being around a bunch of old fishermen at the captain's meetings and dinners and stuff? We can
it's exciting. And of course, I don't know if y'all know Cliff Parker, but he's exciting to be around anyway.
Yeah, Cliff yes, sir. That's a good way to say it. That's a good way to say it. He's exciting to be around. He's a good man.
He is. Yeah.
And raised a good son in Nathan. There ain't no question about it.
Yes.
So they got their lineage is coming on up, just like Chad and just like John. So that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, I think I smell a little collab coming between Tim and yourself. The lid licking liquid fire hot sauce.
Yeah, for sure. We probably need to chat a little bit about that.
Hey, easy now. I'm trying to get this lid licking tag one on thing going over here.
I'll cut you in on a chat.
My boat name is named after a hot sauce that my parents had.
I got you. Well, that's cool, man. But how about the Tim? What's the little boy's name? When you guys may have seen his logo has a little boy on it. What's that, Tim?
It's Caleb, and he's autistic. People say, "Is that your grandson?" And I said, no, I've got 6 grandchildren. I couldn't figure out which one to put on the label. So I reached out and said, to people I've been helping, can you find me a young person that could, and he was just perfect. His parents were very supportive, and he's got barbecue sauce all over his face. Yes. And it's that's sweet heat that's on his face. So
that's awesome.
But yeah, he's a great kid.
That's good stuff.
Great. Well, where can we find this stuff? We can lick the lid.
Well, I'm in 110 stores east of Raleigh.
That is
East
great.
of North Carolina, I'm really saturated.
Wow.
Carly C's, Piggly Wiggly's, Red and White's, IGA's, hardware stores, and we're constantly adding. We'll be in the eastern part of North Carolina, Harris Teeter in August.
Nice.
So we're going to have a big presence in eastern North. We already have a big presence in eastern North Carolina, but it'll be bigger when we get in August.
That's good stuff.
Cody Bryant's asking for to get it in Mississippi.
Yeah, there you go. Already got your platform here. We like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Reach out. I'll work it out somehow.
All right. Can people order it online off your website, Tim?
Yes. Lid, L-I-D, lidlickingsauce.com.
And the licking is with a G, though, in it, right?
That's correct. That's
all
correct.
Right. Okay.
lidlickingsauce.com. And, you can, if you order like 3 bottles, it's about the same price you pay in the store. Shit.
Okay.
Wow.
Very nice. So
that makes it worthwhile for sure.
Yeah,
I know that it's good. I've eaten it numerous times in Chad's in the volunteers captains meetings that they put on. So it is good stuff, and we definitely appreciate that. So
yeah.
Well, guys, Chad, is there anything that from the South events you're getting ready to start? Thursday night captains meeting, Saturday fishing. You guys do a great job of keeping people updated on Facebook. I don't know who does. I don't know if that's Shell or Dustin or who does the typing, but they do a good job with it.
Well, I do the typing, then I have to run it through Shell and Mike Williams. They're my grammars. They're my chat GPTs.
Are they? I understand.
But let's get it on, man. We're ready, man. Tim, thank you so much, Bubba. Really,
Tim,
thank you, man.
Thank y'all for having me.
It's
I
an
really
honor.
appreciate that.
We appreciate it so
Absolutely.
much. Chad, thank you so much for what you guys do, bringing Tim on board with us, and man, means a lot to us. So thank you so much. Appreciate y'all being part of this as always.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of the show, guys. Thank you,
guys.
Tim.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
Have a great night.
Thank you, Tim. Y'all have a good night. Wow, that's pretty darn cool right there, John. That's some good stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that go on these events, and not just Cape Lookout Shootout, but all of these tournaments generally have a very good charity or some sort of a philanthropic outreach that makes a big impact on people's lives. And from there, $36,000 raised for special needs children to Brandon Reed Foundation of $50,000 this past tournament. Wow, how exciting is that?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a couple of episodes ago. It's the fishing community just they flat out give back. And Tim's showing right there. Although he's not a fisherman per se, but he definitely is getting involved and giving back in his own way. So that's amazing. Good for them, and hopefully that continues to go strong for them.
I'm with you, man.
And try the sauce. I've had it, like you said, Mark, a number of times. It's fantastic.
It really is very good. They do a great job, and I appreciate being the recipient of those fine donations that he's making. So, well, guys, without further ado, John, I think Kole might be having an issue hearing you, but we'll see once we bring him in. And folks, without further ado, hey, we want to bring in 3 amazing young men. All of them are less than 17 years old. All of them are already incredibly accomplished tournament fishermen, but not just tournament fishing. I mean, these guys are on the water all the time. I think it's their love. It won't surprise me a bit if that's not what becomes their career, but we're going to learn more about that right now. So without further ado, John, I think we need to bring them on board. See if we can't
let's welcome Brayden McMullan, Carson Shingleton, and Kole Mazzarella.
All right, gang.
Gentlemen, how's everybody doing today?
Good. How are y'all?
Doing well, guys. Can everybody hear us okay? Yes, sir. Very good. Well, guys, you know what? Go ahead, John. Sorry.
No, we got everything working.
Yeah, man. That's exciting. Kole, can you hear John okay now?
I cannot.
Okay. Well, I run my mouth enough for both of us, so maybe we can get that corrected throughout the show here. But guys, we do thank you very much for being part of this, and we want to make sure that y'all get a chance to introduce yourselves, and you know, it's an honor for all three of you to be on here. So we wanted to, you know, we had just had Chad on here, myself and John. We're kind of all in that older bracket, and you guys bringing up the all the new stuff and already very accomplished anglers. So I'll give you an opportunity really to introduce yourself. Let's talk a little bit about who you are, what you do, your age, what grade you're in, just kind of a real quick introduction so the audience knows who we're speaking with, and learn more about you through it so they can identify which one is which and what you do. So Kole, let's start with you, buddy. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us where you're from, how old, school, all that.
From Fort Pierce, Florida. 17 years old and in 11th grade, going into 12th.
Okay. Very good. And what's your team name?
Tuned Up.
Tuned Up fishing team out of Fort Pierce. Very good. Well, Brayden, let's roll over to you, my friend. Let's talk about what you got going.
Brayden McMullan. I'm from Ocean Isle Beach, North Carolina. I fish on Team OIFC. I'm 16 years old. Well, Team OIFC and the OIFC King Slinger.
That's right.
Me and my buddies' teams. Carson knows them. My buddies, Jack Watson and Colin Noble and a couple other Riggs Edens. You know, we all fish together on my boat. But I'm 16. I'm in 10th grade, going into 11th. But I would definitely say fishing is my life. I mean, that's I've quit playing sports now, and I pretty much just fish. I do a ton of commercial fishing. That's how I make my money currently. You know, it's fine at my young age, but it definitely works on the body. It's tough. Those long hours.
Oh yeah. For sure.
He's saying that now.
Oh, yeah. It's tough.
It's a little older.
Sure. Well, Carson, talk a little bit, buddy. Let's do an intro here. Let's kind of the same thing. So people know who you are.
Carson Shingleton, I'm 15 and 10th grade, and from Wilmington, Carolina Beach, North Carolina. Fish on Tide went on. We've just been fishing since I was a little guy.
Yes, sir. We have. I have been honored to know you and Brayden for a long time and watch you guys grow up with your families and the support structure that you have and turning into the young men you are. And then Kole, it's certainly an honor to meet you. The way we kind of connected a few weeks back is that you had taken a video, or somebody on your boat had taken a video of us catching a fish and gaffing a fish out in when we were down in Fort Pierce in the Fort Pierce King Mackerel Invitational. So look forward to many more years of learning more about you. But, guys, tonight, we talked, Brayden, you mentioned, hey, I don't do sports anymore, but I know you fish a lot. I know Carson fishes and hunts a lot. And obviously, Kole, you've got a lot going on there. But let's talk a little bit about your background in sports. Did y'all participate in sports, or do you still participate in sports in school? Talk a little bit about that. Carson, what did you have a background in that? I think I know the answer to this in baseball.
I've been playing baseball since I was 4. I still do play, but fishing's definitely at the top of the priority list now. I'm playing school ball, and we actually just finished, and now I can worry about chasing Slimy King Mackerel around till November.
How'd the season turn out for you?
We're probably just not going to talk about that one. It's not ideal.
Well, that's all right, man. You played. You gave it your best, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Your dad brags on you about how focused you are.
I've got a determination in the wheel to do everything I'm doing. I'm gonna do it 100%. If it's going to catch bluefish, catch pogies, whatever it is, I'm gonna put the time and effort in to do it.
I got a feeling that you're going to be joined by 2 other young men that are going to say the same thing. And
yes, sir.
So that's pretty cool. It is definitely interesting and cool to see you focused like you are. And I have watched you grow up on your dad's boat and your team's boat and seen a lot of cool things happen for you. You've always been very mature, and you know, a lot of people that are at the events, and they treat you like an adult. And
Oh yeah, they do. I talk to anybody.
yeah, for sure. That's good, man. So, well, Kole, how about you, buddy? How about your background? You do any different sports or anything? Do you involved at school or anything?
I used to play sports when I was little, like football and soccer, and then I've always fished my whole life, and
Okay.
it's always attracted me more, I'd say.
I gotcha. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about, you got some other cool things that you're doing with your dad and boat building. So we'll talk a little bit about that too. And so it's cool to see how your focuses change and move through in life. And y'all are doing it at an early age. And you know, I've got kids that are very focused on the same thing. They're not kids anymore; they're grown men, but they were at one time y'all's age that they were very focused on it like y'all. So, Brayden, let's talk a little bit about you too, buddy. I mean, you come from a family of full-time fishermen and marine industry, retail outlets, and just all kinds of charters. And so, talk a little bit about that.
Yes, sir. As soon as I can remember, I've always been. We own the Ocean Isle Fishing Center, and I've always ran around there on the dock. You know, the charter boats coming in the afternoons. I'd run down the dock, help them clean fish, clean the boats. You know, I'd be a dock boy, taking out the trash, fueling up everybody. It's just, I've been fishing. I've been tournament fishing since I think the first tournament I fished was when I was 3. That's what I'm told. I don't really remember. That was a long time ago, but that's what they said. But, you know, I've always been around it, always loved it. I would say I'm a pretty competitive person. So, you know, I love to compete, and I just love to catch big fish in general. I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, for sure.
Brayden, you mentioned you were told you were fishing at 3. My earliest memory of you is watching your mom push you around the Isle of Capri in a stroller at nationals down in Biloxi. So, what's the earliest memory you have of you know, going out with your mom, your dad, your uncle, your grandpa?
That's a tough one. I remember my first actual tournament. I do remember a little bit of that because I remember I got stuck in a palm tree in Key West. That's about the only thing I remember. But it was the first.
We got to hear this story.
With the SKA, you know, they always started in Key West. I feel like I remember in early January. But that's honestly all I remember, getting stuck in a palm tree.
Well, I don't remember the palm tree story, but I do remember in Key West with your dad and mom. We were having breakfast one time down there, and they were talking about a story with you that you know, they were looking around and trying to find you, and ultimately found you in the console in the chocolate chip cookie bag. Your dad was telling, it was like you were down there just destroying all the chocolate chip cookies. It was a funny story that your dad told. I can't do it justice, but you know, on the boat from an early age, and I'm sure that you know, Kole and Carson, I'm sure you guys were. And what's, you know, y'all share your earliest memory. Kole, what's your earliest memory of being out on the water and who it was with?
Probably going to the Bahamas when I've been going to the Bahamas and fishing since before I can remember. But always with my family when I was probably like 4, going to like Lakaya and stuff. It's probably my earliest memory of fishing.
So your parents, I mean, your mom, dad, they're involved. They love fishing as well.
Yes, they've been fishing for a while. My dad's been fishing since he was pretty sure his whole life. Same thing with my grandpa was a commercial king fisherman. My grandpa.
Okay, so awesome. You're no stranger to it.
Yes, sir.
Very nice. Carson, very similar situation for you. I know you came up in it as well, buddy.
Oh yeah, I've been around it. I've been around the shootout, running around before I could even walk, crawling around and doing everything with the shootout. And then probably the earliest memory was whenever I used to go with my dad to go catch. He'd go catch pogies and bluefish, and he had this little lawn chair he'd sit me in beside the console. And I'd sit there and I'd eat my bag of goldfish and just hang out while he threw the net and did everything. And then it got to where we started fishing the Cape Carteret Community College Spanish tournament. and we did good in that tournament. We did really well in that tournament one year, and then it got to where I started fishing the Jolly Mon and just started fishing the shootout, and it just kind of built from there to just learning to throw a cast net and tying rigs and just basically going from not being able to reach a rod holding a T-top, doing everything, and not too terribly long of a time.
Yeah, for sure. Well, obviously you hit a growth spurt, and that certainly helps with the net throwing. That's for sure. I'm sure your dad don't mind giving that up.
No, I don't even let him throw it anymore. I love it so much. I just.
Well, he probably don't hurt his feelings. And I know, Brayden, that I've seen your dad out there with you and you throwing the net. There's been many videos out there with you doing that, instructing you and making sure that you open that thing, right?
Yes, sir. It's always a mystery when I'm out there throwing the net. Never know what type of fruit's going to end up out there, but I've got her dialed in now.
So you do?
Yeah, I don't like throwing the net at all. I don't like getting wet.
I'm with you.
Sucks. So when I'm on my boat and I got somebody else with me, it's always them. I hate throwing. So.
I understand. Well, I'll tell you, I use the old man excuse for mine and have for years. My son, Joshua, he throws a 14-footer now, and I can't even pick a 14-footer up. So that's a big difference. But anyway, so that's cool. So as as far as the competitive side of things go, guys, let's talk a little bit about what drives that for you. Is it something that over the last certain period of time, we got a 15, a 16, a 17-year-old, and all of you kind of are very competitive, already successful, already doing things on the boat as grown men would do, when do you feel like that competitive nature took over, and when did all that really turning from just being on the boat and being part of it? When did you feel the transition from being a coming along and learning to someone who felt like they could kind of take over, in an event, make decisions and make choices that a captain would need to make, not just fishing, but I mean, being part of a safety and making sure that other people are taken care of, making, where to go, what to do. Are y'all doing those things now? And it kind of explained, Kole, kind of explained, since you won an event most recently 2 weekends ago, tell a little bit about that story, how that transpired and what the day was like for you there.
It was pretty good. We pre-fished and it was slow. And we ended up just bait fishing after trying to pre-fish for 2 hours. And
there's
it was
a good one.
Really, really slow. And we went out, got some nice baits, and we were pretty confident in our baits. And we went in, got the boat ready for the next day, went out there. We cooked. As soon as we put all the baits out, we hooked 6 sharks on every rod.
Oh,
man.
Which was a terrible start. And we put like a 20-pounder in the boat and got a bunch more sharks and then missed a big wahoo, we think. And then one of my buddies on the boat said, let's go out to where we caught bait, which was pretty deep. Put a bait out within the first pass going over it. We got that one.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was sweet. Good feeling putting that in the boat.
Were there sharks around there? Did you, when you were fighting that fish, I mean, was that in the back of your mind? Because I got to tell you, I mean, it's been consistent. Anybody talking about fishing on this show right here has been talking about how bad the sharks are. Certainly in Florida, moving up into North Carolina. I mean, Brayden, Carson, have y'all noticed the shark population getting heavier and heavier as well?
Yes, sir. I've been gag fishing since it's opened May 1st this year, and it's truly incredible just how many sharks there actually are. I mean, I've had to go to fishing hooker 80 wides just to be able to try and get the gags past the sharks. I mean, it's really bad, really, really bad.
That's insane.
That's terrible.
What we're seeing with, and it costing a lot of people tournament winning fish. And I know several people have been out there and we talk a lot about it, but so Kole, as y'all caught that fish, 45.6, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So after you caught that fish, did y'all fish more or was it a big fish tournament or was it an aggregate?
It was a big fish tournament.
Okay.
And we had, I got Starlink on my boat, so I'm able to communicate with everybody, and I was talking to everybody.
You're
I saw
talking junk to
one
everybody or just talking to everybody?
talking to everybody. We told him we didn't get anything. But in the morning,
Oh,
we
you
saw
are a
one.
king mackerel fisherman, right?
Yeah.
No, I
The
understand.
people next to us in the morning had like a 55, upper 50s sky out on their kite. And I
Ooh.
thought they landed that fish, but it got sharked. So in the
Oh, man.
beginning, I was like stressed out the whole time.
Wow.
But I think we hooked about 14 sharks and we hooked 3 actual fish.
Wow. So did you continue to fish after y'all caught that big one? or did you head
It's a
in?
KDW, so we went out,
Okay.
got the mahi, which we ended up winning the mahi, Calcutta and everything.
Okay.
And then we walleye fished for a little, but it was slow. We didn't get anything.
I gotcha. Was it a pretty good payout for you?
Yeah, not bad.
Okay.
Covered everything.
There you go.
Yep.
Can't ask for more than that.
That's good stuff. So, Carson, as we move into the Cape Lookout Shootout series, I mean, talk a little bit about, I know you sent a picture of what the coolest picture was for you recently. So tell us about your most recent memory or your most special memory.
Probably catching that 49 in the second leg of the North. We just started out. I think we were 2 for 10 on macro bites. I mean, they were airing out and wouldn't even cut the bait, wouldn't do anything with it. And then we finally got a bite, and it you could tell it was a good one. And it ended up being a 37. Caught him, put him back out, and 30 minutes later, hooked a 15-pounder that burned it down like a 35 40 would, and it was like a 15-pounder. Like, well, that's a bummer. So I put him back out, marked a good pot of bait, inshore everybody, and just went across it and hooked that fish and didn't run. Didn't do anything. Ran like you would expect a 15-pounder to run. We were joking that, I wouldn't be surprised if this one was 15 to 20 pounds. And she rolled up there next to the boat after like 2 minutes, and she was green. And for 15 minutes, she sat there circling. She'd run 30 yards. We'd get her back up, go back down. And you can see that tail every time she'd take back off, hitting the line. And after about 15 to 20 minutes, we finally caught her. And we're like, well, the 37 and the 49 and try to win the double barrel. And then we knew there had been some big fish caught. And so we just decided we were going to head back to Drum Inlet, make sure nothing happened, and get back by 3 or 4 o'clock.
And what was the outcome?
That's awesome.
Was the outcome?
We won the double barrel, which actually had rolled over from the previous leg because 2 fish weren't caught by anybody, and
Yep.
one we swept everything all the way across the board.
Nice. Yeah. So did your
That
dad
was a
give you
good day
some
for
of
you
that cash?
guys.
What did you say?
Did your dad give you some of that cash?
My reward's getting to fish and hunt all the time.
There you
So,
go.
I take that.
That's the
That's
way to
good
take
payment.
that high road. I like that. Your dad's gonna be proud of you there.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk to him next time we see him.
Yeah, for sure. So Kole, real quick, on the fish that you caught, buddy, what's can you share your bait strategy? What you were using?
Yeah. We're using just big, like 2-pound runners. It was hard. We couldn't get any bluefish. Bait fish for 4 days straight and got like 2 bluefish. It was just really tricky.
Tough.
But yeah, the runners they've been getting bit more than the bluefish recently, I've seen.
Right.
But there's been a lot of big fish and a lot of sharks.
Yeah, for sure. It's hard to beat those a big old runner down there, man, for a big fish. There's no doubt. Was your dad fishing with you, or is it just you and your friends?
It was just me and my buddies.
Okay, so
I've never fished a tournament with my dad yet.
Really?
Surprisingly, yes.
Okay. Wow. Is that purposeful?
I have to run it.
Okay.
I have to be the captain.
There
In a
you go.
sense of just fishing. He doesn't really kingfish too much anymore. He likes to wahoo fish and tuna fish and go to the Bahamas and stuff.
Nice. Very nice. Well, very good. Well, the Brayden, let's talk a little bit about your dad shared a few weeks back about your first victory, and you're going to always be talking about that. So you're going to talk a little bit about it here tonight too, because it's such a cool story. And a lot of people talk about it, but I'd love to hear you share your experience on that too. And we can start from the beginning on that.
Yes, sir. That was truly an incredible experience. I mean, I don't know if y'all have it, but nights before tournaments, I can almost dream and see stuff happening. It don't always happen, unfortunately.
Right.
But there's been a couple of times that it's happened. I see that fish air out. It's the big one. The one you need, and that was one of those times. I was so hyped up, ready to go, so excited. First tournament on my own boat, on my 18-foot little boat. I was just so excited and had that dream, and sure enough, it happened. But really, it started out I couldn't get anybody to fish with me, so I wasn't gonna fish, and it was 9:00 on Friday night. I hadn't entered nothing, and I guess my dad had been talking to the Yamaha Tech, if y'all know Yamaha Scott.
Right.
He's around a lot of tournaments, and he talked to him, and Scott said, if you need somebody to fish with me, I'm not very busy, so I'll definitely come fish with you. And my dad, I walked over to my dad, hey, can he fish with me? Is he good enough to, in case of emergency, if anything happened bad? I would say he's a pretty good one to have, a Yamaha Tech guy.
No doubt.
Problems, he would be able to solve them. But I said, yes, sir, that's fine. So, from there we started getting everything ready. He ran to the grocery store, got us some food. I went home, tied us some rigs, and then the next morning we woke up. My dad made me leave a little later because he wanted to be there.
Sure.
Make sure he ran out the inlet because there was a big groundswell the night before. I wanted to make sure it was all calm and safe to go out in, which it was a beautiful day, flat, calm, no wind. And I think I ended up leaving the dock about 9:00, so a little late, but had on my bait, had some bluefish, some pogies, went out there, and I have a 3-mile boundary, but it's fall time. That was a fall tournament, or the fall brawl that my father runs out of the fishing center, or my family. My mom's a big part of it.
He put a 3-mile boundary on you.
Yes, sir, 3-mile boundary, but but really this time of year, those 3 miles right outside of Charlotte Inlet.
Pretty good spot.
Be the spot. And,
But you were how old at this time?
I was 12 going into 6th grade.
Wow.
Yes, sir. But we got out there, first thing we caught 2 nice fish, 2 20, 25 pounders. First thing, there was a bunch of boats around right there, fish there till lunchtime, and ran ashore, found some greenie pods in there, fished around that for a while because it got slow out there on the ledge itself. Fished that for a little while, ran off, fished another little ledge, and I was like, all right, it's probably 2:30 at this point. And I decided, all right, we're going to run back over here to the main ledge, the Milliken ledge or Charlotte ledge, and set them out. We were running a pretty simple spread, only fishing 3 lines. I had a single pogie on the long, and then a bluefish on the medium, and a double pogie short. And if y'all know, when the water's real nice and clear on the beach, you can kind of tell when you're about to get a bite, especially on your double pogie. This thing starts swimming way up on top. And I could see it got real up on top, just trying to get out the water as hard as I could for probably 10 minutes. And then it finally, everything calmed down. And then my bluefish gets bit and just blisters off. And I've said this multiple times, but I have never seen a fish run that hard. That is the hardest fish I've seen run. And I was using our charter fishing reels. So I didn't have a whole lot of string. I had about 250 yards max. So it was a little sketchy there for a second. We pretty much got up on plane trying to chase that one. But, got up on him. He pretty much killed himself on the first run.
Wow.
Got on top of him. He circled twice, gaffed him, pulled him to the boat. And it was a big one. That was a 52. He's actually, you can see him right there. He's on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Good fish. So did you fight the fish or gaff the fish or both?
I fought the fish.
Okay. And Scott gaffed him. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good.
But, we gaffed that fish. I didn't know how big he was. I mean, your adrenaline's so high. I called my dad. I think he told y'all this story.
Yeah.
We got a giant. We're coming in now. He's 60 pounds. Get the scales ready. And he said, y'all gonna keep fishing? And I said, no, we are coming in now. It's 3:00 now, 3:30. And I threw all my other fish on the floor, left them out. I was like, I don't even care about those. Took all the ice I had, took the ice out the cooler box and put it in there. Tried to take as good a care of that fish as I could.
Yeah. Well, it's a cool story, man. Seeing a young 12-year-old man, holding big fish up. So it's pretty cool stuff to see. So, and then,
hang on 1 second, Mark. I'm going to interrupt. We got a question, Brayden. We want to, I think the fall brawl you were asking, you were talking about 21, right?
Yes, sir. That's one of my buddies that fishes with me.
Let's talk to us about this 2004 super team.
Yeah. So that's, if y'all remember that year, that was when the bite was incredibly good at the Cabbage Patch, the cucumber, that whole area. I mean, I remember there was boats spread out for 2 or 3 miles. Everybody was catching fish. But I fished the first day with my dad, me and my dad, and Gavin Niven, who used to fish with us a good bit. And we cycled through them all day. I mean, we just went through them. I bet I think we caught 800 pounds of mackerels that day.
Wow.
We ran out of bait and ended up having 39. That was all we could do. And we were competing for team of the year that year. So we really wanted to catch a good one. We needed a 40 plus to feel safe. And sure enough, somebody did end up getting us. A guy weighed a 44 and got us by a couple pounds. But
well, still though, I mean, the accomplishments continue to develop and arise for you guys, and an amazing story, and one of which I know you're proud of. I know your parents are proud of, and not unlike Carson and Kole. I mean, it's as y'all continue to develop your careers, you're going to have more opportunities like that. So, how does it feel for you guys as you started, competing as captains, really, and as teammates and crew members? How does that feel in competing against adults that have been doing it a long time, as young men that are either on a as part of a crew or as a captain? And does that make a difference in how you approach things? So, Kole, have you fished? I know you said you don't fish with your dad hasn't fished with you in a king tournament, but have you been on a crew as opposed to being as a captain in an event?
Yeah, I fish. I never fished tournaments with like my family, but besides my sister, she actually fished with me for the last tournament I won. But other than that, I've never fished with my dad during a tournament, but I've always fished with my dad, my brother, and a few of their buddies for my whole life.
How does that change your perspective as being a crew member to being a captain? You said you want to be a captain. You've got to be the captain. What is that? So that tells a lot about your mentality, your psyche, your desire. I think probably all three of you young men have that. And, fishing with someone as compared to someone fishing with you. Talk a little bit about that and explain that thought process. That was interesting to me when you said that.
Mm-hmm. Nice fishing and making your own call or being the start to the own call, have more of a say in that, and especially when you make that call and it turns out to be the right one.
An adrenaline rush for you that's like nothing else.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's what keeps me coming back for sure.
Yeah. And I think, Carson, that's kind of what you were sharing a while ago. And I mean, I know you do a lot on your boat. I know, I don't know that you run a boat yet, but I'm sure, I don't know that that's fair. Explain your situation with your dad and that type of thing and what you guys do. And then that adrenaline rush that you get and with what you described earlier.
I love being in control when it comes to fishing. Everybody that fishes with us will tell you that I can be a little feisty at times.
That's what your dad told me.
Yeah, I'm sure. I did get that from him though. I inherited that. Truly, I inherited that from him. And I'm too, if something goes wrong, knowing that it was your fault, and you're not sitting there like, well, somebody else tied that rig, somebody else tied that knot, it's all on you, and you can point the finger back at yourself and be like, well, that was my fault. You can fix it. Like, I mean, now in the moment you can't fix it because you hook a 45 and a knot breaks. You're like, that sucks. But at the same time, you get to realize that it's all, I mean, everything falls back on you. And this year actually was the first time I went offshore by myself. Me and one of my buddies went to the Northeast Rock one afternoon after school. And we got there. I think we started fishing at 4:45, and in an hour and a half, we had 13 king mackerel whites. And the biggest one was right at 35. I mean, it was just good, clean fun going. Just go have an afternoon. He was actually in Moorhead at the captain's meeting. And I was running the boat back home and called him. I was like, well, we had a pretty good afternoon. That was
good.
pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So did that fuel the fire for what's coming for you? You like that?
I do. I also like having him with me. It's big.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been with him forever fishing. I mean, he's taught me everything I know came from him.
Yeah. That's cool stuff. Well, Brayden, I mean, I know how close your family is and how much your dad, and not just your dad, your mom, your sister. Kole mentioned his sister fishing with him some too. So having that family and influence, how does, I mean, talk about the actual influence on that and what did their desire to do, what do you do, drive you to be even better, and the excitement of being part of the sport? Is that where you feel like it came from?
Yes, sir. So, the team used to be the dream team way back when, whenever my dad and all them were fishing the SKA against you forever ago, was my dad and Grandpa Rube, his dad, and Barrett. They fished together for a long time. They were really good. Then it went to my mom would fish with them. My sister would fish with them. It just kind of progressed. We all started fishing together more and more. Then Barrett's family got old enough, where they could start competing. So they kind of went and did their own thing. Then Grandpa Rube got a little, he doesn't like the competing anymore. He doesn't like the seriousness. He likes to go bottom fishing,
Yeah,
get some stuff in the freezer. But now our team consists of me, my dad, and my sister, my mother, and her fiance, my sister's fiance, Abel.
Yep.
They're getting married in September. But really, it's me and my dad. We have the drive to compete, and we want to win every time. But my mom, we call her the master angler. So, we hook a fish automatically. Rod either goes to her or my sister. It leaves me open, keep everything straight in the back. My dad drives the boat. And then,
so do you like that? Do you guys, let's get to that. Do y'all like gaffing fish, fighting fish, or just kind of making sure everything else is ready to go so that it's clean, so that that you can focus on it? So Kole, what's as the captain, and you said you'd like that feeling. What is your focus as the captain when you get a fish? I mean, you guys are tying rigs, you're doing all these things, and you're getting everything prepared and ready. And I know that and y'all can tell me whether or not you tie the rigs and get prepared. But what's the steps? What's the strategy behind that as the captain of your team? What do you do?
Typically the night before, or like a couple of days before, we'll tie all the rigs. Me and one of my buddies, and then I'm typically the captain for the ride out and going to the spots, and then someone will take over so me and my buddy can get the rods out and the spread done, and then I'll take back over. And then whenever a rod goes off, it's depending if it's a good fish, we clear everything, and either me or my buddy Johnny or Gunner, they typically fight the fish. I trust them on the rod, which says a lot because I don't trust much people on the rod.
Right.
And I'll typically end up gaffing most of the time. I do a lot on the boat typically. But
So you feel more comfortable allowing somebody who is an accomplished angler, and you still want to? Do you drive the boat, or are you at the helm while you're fighting the fish most of the time?
yeah, I'll drive the boat for if it's like an intense fight, for especially if the sharks are bad. And I'll typically fight it, and then like last second, my buddy will take over, and I'll run up there with the gaff and stick it.
Okay. So Carson, what's y'all's strategy there? So what's happened? Because you've got a bunch of accomplished folks on your boat. So as you've grown up and you're kind of taking control of a lot of things that are on the boat, I know. So what happens with at this point in the last year or so for you?
Yes, sir. Well, for the longest time, I've been tying rigs and doing things and just got taught how to tie them. And now just in February, I got bored in the afternoon. It was raining and cold. And I was like, I'm just going to go sit in back in my rigs. I sat up there, used all my treble hooks, all my nose hooks, everything I had just to tie rigs. Just like, well, I'm going to need them at some point this year. And I drove the boat. When the fish was hit, David always fights fish. David gets the jitters. I mean, he's always got to be on the rod. You can't put him anywhere else. He gets all excited. And so we put him on the rod. And then last year, really, I started sticking all our fish. And it really started in the Rumble 2 years ago, and we did well. It was me, my dad, and Hudson. Brayden, you know Hudson. And Hudson would fight him. I was on the gaff, my dad would drive. And now I've just got where I stick all of them, and Jim, Hudson's dad, in the south drives, and we all, in the back doing stuff. We always just keep fishing. More baits in the water, more time you got, and better chance you got to get bit. And especially like in Hatteras, culling through fish, you've got 35s and 40s, and you may get 150 out of the school of a 40-pound bite. And you just got to keep baits in the water, keep things moving. And it's just, but I do love sticking them. That's my favorite thing. There's an adrenaline rush when you see one and you're like, that's a good one.
Yeah, especially when you put one over the rail and it's a solid fish for sure.
Oh yeah.
I got a quick question. You guys obviously talk about, what you're doing on the boat, and, how influential are your parents to, we've talked a little bit about it, but, obviously they're not on the boat with you guys for the most part, but how influential are they when you get out there and, your support system with them, going into an event?
You want me to start with that one?
Sure.
Yes, sir. So, whenever I fish a tournament without my dad, he's a very good fisherman, as Carson's dad, and as I'm sure your dad is, Kole. And so I always like another opinion, making a decision from somebody that I feel is better than me. So you got Starlink, Starlink might be one of the greatest creations ever made. So recently we were fishing a tournament, the Onslow Bay Open a few years ago, in my 25 contender. We ended up doing real good. We finished third. But if y'all remember that time of year, the fishing was super spread out. I mean, it was super duper spread out. And we went out there that morning, with the plan, we're just going to hit as many spots as we can in the 90 to 100 foot range and just hope to find one. That's all you can do this time of year, really, here. We started out, got lucky. First spot we stopped at, the class of fish in that tournament were pretty small. So a 29 was leading it on day one. And we called a 26 first thing, it was good, pumped the nerves up. You're feeling good. All right, we got us a nice fish, now let's go get us the right one. And I fished all day. I don't know how much fuel I burned, but I ran all over the place. That's when I had a pair of HPDI 200s on that 25 things. Ooh, I blew one up, actually.
Did you?
I ran a little too hard, but
you're not the first one.
Yeah, but we fished everywhere. Finally ended up across the shoal over towards y'all's side. Put them out. Fish airs it out. You can tell it's a nice fish. Runs out. Drive up on them. Pretty simple. as you would like them to go, catch them in 5 minutes. Fish comes up, gaff him, put him in the boat. I can tell it's a 30 pounder. He's going to be real close. So I text my dad, we got us a nice one. It's going to be super close, but I think he's going to be just big enough to be what was leading the day before. And we pack it up, ran. We had to run all the way to, I think that one was in Topsail, North Topsail. And then we get halfway. We're looking at Facebook Live, or my buddy Gavin sitting beside me looking at Facebook. And then the tournament goes live. 47 gets weighed. We're just oh my God, come on now. Just a bummer. We're super hyped up, but you still hoping for second or third is always fun. And then Henry weighs a 37. No, maybe we'll still get third. Participation trophy, doing good. And lucky enough, we had it not by a whole lot. I think that fish was 35 and a half, or 30 and a half, not 35.
Okay.
30 and a half. Barely had it, but good enough. Finished third in that one. But I was constantly texting my dad all day, what you think about here? Yeah, I've caught him there this time of year, just go across it, see what you mark on the bait first, see what it looks like, and if you like it, fish it. And that's what we went with.
So that's getting into that. The communication side of things. You mentioned Starlink. You mentioned talking to your dad. So for Carson and Kole, all of you, what as young men, where do y'all get your information? Do y'all go out and strive to get your own information, or at this point, Kole, I'm sure you as the captain, I'm sure you probably have in mind that, and Carson, as much as you talk to the adults that are around, are y'all able to communicate with others and to gather information? And do you feel like you're taken seriously as young anglers?
You want to start now?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And try not to talk to a lot of people, just solely on the fact of, you don't know exactly who in the fishing community will tell you the truth. I'd rather you just not talk to me at all than send me on a wild goose chase. So try not to talk to people, but not to talk to a bunch of people. But we do have our tight-knit group. Like in Moorhead, we've got Ron Dorsey, King's Ransom, Mike Williams, Release, Scott Parsons, Carolina Kings. Then down here you got Billy Goss, Small Hooligans. We're real tight with Billy and Aaron. And then you got Scott Kiker,
right
Reelaholics, and then Brad Dove and Salt and Batter. And that's really our tight-knit group.
Mm-hmm.
And it just try to get the information is true. It's rather I think it's better to get less information and it be true information to get a bunch of information to be false.
So as young anglers and young captains, do y'all feel like the older generation, like myself, take you seriously if you talk to them? I mean, do you feel like you're respected in that manner? Not trying to cause issues, but I mean, how do y'all feel as young captains? Kole, how do you? Okay. You do feel like
especially you, Mark. I mean, I can come up and shake your hand and have a conversation with you anytime, but I feel like they do. Which too, I've been around the guys in the shootout for 13 years.
Yeah.
And just them knowing me, and I get to talk to them and build a relationship. It's more like a family than a relationship, really.
Right.
And like Bennett fishes with Ethan and a couple of the charter guys now, like they'll see me on the boat and people are starting to see me more and more out by myself, and they'll call me and be like, hey, what's happening here? And I'm like, I'll tell you. Like Bennett and those boys that I'll talk to, just have a good relationship with them, and I'll tell them stuff about where bait's at. And that's pretty cool to know that people will call you. And it feels like too, you got some respect with guys that'll call you and ask you information. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, Kole, I know, Mike and Alicia Minia that run the Fort Pierce King Mackerel Invitational, they're big fans of yours, and they speak very highly of you and your family, and just the short period of time that I've known who you are. There's a lot of positive vibe out there for you too. So how is as you? Because my understanding is you really kind of, while you fished a lot, you've really just gotten kind of into the tournament fishing scenario. Is that correct?
Yes, this is the tournament I won 2 weekends ago. That was my 4th tournament I've ever fished for kingfish. I got 2 this weekend. I got one on a Friday and one on Saturday. 2 different tournaments.
Okay, now you got the bug, and you can't get enough of it, can you?
Yeah, it's hard. I was trying to spend all my money that I won to enter every tournament. But
Well, that won't take long.
It's easy.
That will not take long. And but you've got a good start on that. And so do you feel like when you're as you've started fishing tournaments, and not just tournaments, we don't want to make this about tournament fishing, but fishing in general, y'all all 3 are accomplished young men. You've grown up in the sport. It sounds like, Kole, you've got a background in the sport that your parents had a good reveal for you. How are you able to gather that information? A lot of it's going to be, Carson's mentioned it several times. You mentioned it some, catching bait. How do y'all go about preparing for that? How do you go about getting that information? And who do you speak with? Do you speak with other young men your age, or do you speak with the adults a lot? I mean, because this is an interesting sport because adults feel like a lot of times they bring the young men across. I've got 2 sons who I was very fortunate that were younger than you guys, like, when we started fishing, and now they control everything. They do such a good job, and I know how focused that they are. And, as they grew up in this sport, the adults took them very seriously. They saw that they were serious. And I think that that's one thing as an adult and as someone who has fished a lot, you see someone in your age group that is very serious. And I think that means a lot. And do y'all feel that? Do you utilize that relationship to gain more and more knowledge of bait, fishing, whatever it may be? And do y'all feel comfortable about that as you continue to grow?
Yeah, I have. So I dive obviously a lot. If I'm not fishing, I'm diving. And whenever you dive, you get to see the perspective underwater of where all the bait is and new rocks that nobody has, which helps a lot. Like last tournament, during the Invitational, I heard it was hard to get bait, but bait fish for an hour and a half, and we got 250 runners. And we went in and dropped those off in our bait pen. We went back out and got another 200, which apparently my buddy went out, which they're good to fish and know where the bait is typically. They only got about, I think, 80 runners for the whole day of bait fishing. So it's a struggle sometimes, but I think diving for sure helps me know where the bait is.
Well, tell about your diving experience today real quick.
Pretty good. Shot a nice 60-pound cubera out of Fort Pierce. Almost blacked out. Pretty eventful day. Yeah, I was close. Wow. A couple seconds away. I was seeing stars.
Wow. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Not down there.
Yeah, I had to land that fish. I was dying for that fish, I would say.
Wow.
How deep of water was it? Oh, he can't hear me. I forgot.
Hey, we said, how deep of water was it, Kole?
65.
I got you. Pretty cool there. So, guys, as y'all were talking about bait and talking about, setting spreads and all that, as young men, what do you feel like if you had to say one thing that was the most important thing that you could do? If you got somebody out there, one of your friends or somebody's interested that's even younger than you guys are going to be their heroes or their people that they talk about and look up to. What would you tell them if there was one? I don't know if it's a skill or a set of awareness. What is there one thing that y'all would share that has been the most important thing for you from the tactical standpoint? Is there something that y'all could share on that?
I would say, if anybody ever talks to me about fishing, I would say the most important thing about fishing is to never stop learning. It really is. There's always something to learn. I go out there every day. When I'm commercial fishing in the summer, I'm fishing multiple days a week if the weather allows. And anytime I see something, I'm trying to learn from it. So, I have somebody new fishing with me that I've never fished with. I like to see what they do. I like to learn from that. Can I gather something from them that I can apply to when I fish myself? Or can I show them something that can then help them? But I would say the most important thing that I have learned, and what I would tell everybody, is to never stop learning. No matter, this person can be brand new to fishing, but he may have seen this on YouTube somewhere or somewhere crazy, but it could be something that changes the game for you.
No doubt.
Very good. Carson,
anybody else want to jump on that?
Yeah, Carson, tell about, as you've experienced tournament fishing and just fishing in general. You guys won a Wahoo tournament this year, so you're very accomplished in many areas of fishing. But if there's something that you could share with the generation coming up, or anybody, someone like me, I mean, what would we learn from you?
Don't get discouraged. You had those summer days that it's 90 degrees, no wind, it's hot. I mean, it's just miserably hot. And you're sitting there and you're not getting bit. And then, I mean, we've had bites last 5 minutes, have top 5 fish. Last 5 minutes, you double up with fish, and at the end of the day, you've been sitting on a pot of bait all day, and he finally eats. And then you just can't get discouraged by not getting bit. It's like, and two, going back to Brayden, the always learning thing. Like this year, whenever we did win that Wahoo tournament, I was sitting there, I was running the boat. I said, when I get to 71 degree water, I'm pulling it back. I don't care where we are. We got a 71 degree water and pulled it back and couldn't even put a reel off free spool, and the 83 hit. And there's just like, that's just paying attention to things of where fish had been in the past. You get to see things, like even going back to the bait thing, the more and more you do it each year, the more you learn on where they're at, what tide they're on certain things, like catching bluefish, what tides are in certain places. Just always learning, keeping your eyes open and not just being like, well, I'm too good for somebody to teach me. Just, keeping your ears open to what everybody's saying, and even like going fishing with somebody else. Just listen to what they have to say, and even if it's not how you fished and not what you like, then just listen to them, let them teach you how they want to fish, and in the end, it may work out for you somewhere down the road. Nice.
Very nice. Now, Kole, with your background and what you do and what you focused on in the past to get you to this point, a little bit different than Carson and Brayden, grew up tournament fishing in king mackerel world and just fishing in general. It's not all about king mackerel, but as a diver and learning from a perspective from under the water, what would you tell, how would you share your experience, and what would you tell others that are trying to learn?
Don't give up, and don't be hard on yourself, for sure. And then same thing with tournament fishing. But if you're fishing, I mean, how a fish can eat in the last 5 minutes of you fishing, you can't get a hit all day. So patience, which I struggle with, I would say, for fishing.
We all have that issue.
Oh, yeah. But definitely just fish. I mean, like looking at bait pods. I mean, fish follow the bait most of the time. So
I like it. Well, all three of you talked about something that I think that on our last show, Alex Burgess talked about, and I noticed fishing with them. I noticed fishing with my sons is that you're always scanning and paying attention to what's out there. And all of you said it in a little bit of a different way, I think, but the awareness, I think, is something that y'all are all trying to get to, and making sure that you're able to learn while you're out there, and not just learning from people, but just what you see in the water. Alex, for example, shared a story. He tickled me. He said, I was out there charter or commercial fishing one time, and he said, I saw a piece of braid in the water. And I mean, I got to tell you, anybody that can see a piece of braided line in the water, I can't barely see the water. And so it's to be able to see a piece of braided line. And I'm assuming that you guys are paying attention and evaluating your surroundings at all times. Is that something you're always looking for, is scanning the water, see what the water, situation is like, see if there's bait? eddies or what, those types of things when y'all talk? Is that what you're kind of looking for as well?
Yes, sir. I would say anytime I go fishing, for sure. I'm sure the same with y'all, is anything I can see. Even if I'm not fishing forking mackerel or I'm going way to the deep, I'm going to run through those grounds. I'm going to run through that depth. I want to see what that 60-foot depth range looks like, what the 70-foot, what those spots in that area, what color water, maybe I'll run over on the way in, see if I mark any bait. Just always having an understanding of what's happening in the ocean is the best advantage that you can have in fishing in general, not just tournament king mackerel fishing, but blue marlin fishing, commercial grouper fishing, diving, I'm sure is the same way. I haven't got into that. I want to, but I don't like, I get a little scared when I'm in the water. I like being able to see everything around me. But
well, Cole's the man. I tell you what, as many sharks they got down there, and he's out there diving. I got to tell you,
I was thinking that's why I quit doing it.
Yeah, they're bad.
I want to bring it back on
don't really
land real
mess with
quick,
you.
guys.
Actually, they mess with you a little bit. I had a lot of fish eaten, but most of the time you can kind of show them you're more aggressive. I'd say the Jewfish, the Goliath, the grouper, those are the worst for everything. I mean, I had that 60-pound cubera today, and I was grabbing it from the bottom, and there's a Goliath grouper trying to eat it from my hands, which is a big fish, 60 pounds, and there's like a 600-pound Goliath grouper.
Yeah,
trying to eat it. I punched him in the face a couple times, like pushing him away. And he finally learned, but they're bad.
Yeah, he wound up being Jonah if you're not careful. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My buddy got bit a couple of years ago.
Man.
By a Goliath?
Yeah.
You're braver than I am.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's tough. John, you were trying to.
I want to bring kind of bring it back on land a little bit. For you guys. I mean, obviously when I got into the tournament fishing, I was a little older than you guys. I was 19 when I started fishing on my own, and my wife tells me now I've got a one-track mind, and I've always been like that. I get laser focused on if this is what I'm doing, this is all I'm thinking about. How do you guys balance, the fishing with school and just everyday life right now at your age? Because you guys have a lot going on. I know that.
Hey, Brayden, you had the biggest smile, so go ahead.
Yeah. People that know me, I like to fish a lot more than I like to go to school. And I'm very fortunate. My parents want me to have a lot of great opportunities to do a lot of stuff. So my whole deal is as long as I keep an A average, an AB average, then I can skip whenever I want. As long as my schoolwork's getting done, or just stuff around the house too. I'm staying on top of my stuff. I can go whenever I want. So especially this time of year now, I've been real fortunate. I got a job on a big boat up in Moorhead this year to fish a bunch with. Is something new that I haven't done. I think Carson's starting to get into that a little bit too. But it's that blue marlin fish and stuff. It's super cool to learn something new. But this time of year, May is the prime time,
right?
And with the weather, can't always just fish on the weekend. So
right,
as long as I stay good on my grades, and my parents are very flexible.
That's cool. That's good to.
I'm glad my girls are not listening to this right now.
Well, my boys were fortunate. My wife, my wife homeschooled our children, so they were able to experience some really cool things as they were coming up as well. So, it's something to be said for that. So, and I know Kole, I'm sure your parents support you quite a bit with that too. And plus, I want to talk a little bit before we get off the podcast here about you and your dad building this boat.
Yes, sir. I've been homeschooled since, I believe, like 7th grade. But I used to professionally surf. So I got out of fishing for a little. I mean, I still fished a lot, but surfing was my main priority for a little. I surfed I still surf now, but I was surfing competitively, I think, till I was like 14 or 15.
Okay.
And won a couple nice tournaments, but it was just not, I don't know, you can do I find fishing more fun, more adrenaline, and just doing it. But it's nice. I work full time, so I can fish still a lot, but I work for my dad, luckily.
So when you say you work for your dad, is that talk about building your catamaran and what the name of the boat is, or what brand of the boat it is?
It's a Eastward Hull. They're based out of Fort Pierce. It's a good riding hull.
Yeah.
And we just my dad's been building boats for, I think, about 15 years. Just redoing boats, redoing sport fishers, and putting outboards on them. And then recently he got into the Capt boats. And we got this hull, and we love them. They're great riding boat. We just built our third one a couple weeks ago. But pretty much we get the hull with the stringers, and then we put our fuel tanks in, plumb everything, put our deck on, a lot of sanding and a lot of fairing, and glassing, and send it off to get a T-top. We put on our motors, and he wires everything. I'm still learning that.
Okay.
That's impressive.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty cool. When I saw the boat, I'd forgotten about Dave East. I think it was Dave. Yeah, I think he may have sold that, but I know that was the whole. Pretty cool, and that's pretty unique. That's a different experience that you have right there, and understanding the sport from that aspect and that angle is definitely different than a lot of people would have, no question about it. I'm fortunate to get to see a lot of that stuff, and with what I do for a living, so seeing it being done is pretty cool. And then actually doing it, that's a whole different story. It's got to give you a sense of satisfaction to get out there, something that you built out in the road, you know.
Feels good to run your boat, know what it's made of, it's strong, and know every little thing. Like if something goes wrong, you know exactly where and what. But it's nice to be able to run your boat hard and know it's going to be completely fine.
That's awesome. So, Carson, how about balancing the competitive, life cycle of fishing tournaments and just what you do with school? Because I know that you're very involved in school and do very well.
I mean, I miss a lot. I do miss a lot, but I've always been told, just like Brayden, if I keep a good average, get done what I'm supposed to do, I can do about what I want to. And that's like missing school, going to Kansas to go hunt, going to North Dakota, going to Texas, doing those things like that. It's just, and I'm really harder on myself to get stuff done because I want to have those rewards and want to be able to do the things outside of school. And that's like just even after school, some days I'll be like, well, I've got schoolwork to do. I know I can get it done, but I also want to go fishing. It's like, you've got to be able, at the same time that you, as much as you want to go fishing, you've got to get your stuff done. And like I'll go, I'll stay up late making sure my stuff's done, but it's worth it to go, even in the afternoon, just going on a 3 or 4 hour flounder trip just to go have fun. It's worth it.
Yeah, you and your dad flounder fish a lot, don't you?
Oh yeah, I love it. Just go. Yeah. We got need the water to warm up about 2 more degrees, and then they'll start showing up pretty good, and we start tournament flounder fishing. Into May, we've got a flounder tournament.
There you go. I caught one about 4 pounds yesterday out in the ocean.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, good day. And well, guys, as we kind of start wrapping this up, how about do you feel an addiction to the sport or to the tournament, or is it just an addiction to just loving being out there? Or what is it? What drives you? What motivates you as compared to, and how does the pressure, of a tournament environment, or how does that make you feel? Brayden, you mentioned it, you're sitting there at night, sometimes hard to get to sleep, probably things running through your mind. You don't even know if you slept by the next morning. And, so how does that, how do you guys deal with that? How does that feel? How do you, as you're moving forward, doing this, how How do you guys feel when in a motivation and pressure situation? Brayden, fire away, buddy.
All righty. I don't like when people say this, but I would say fishing is my life at this point. You know, all I do is want to go fishing. I've been real fortunate. My dad's had commercial permits. I think I've mentioned this a couple times, but he's had commercial permits for forever. So I go fish, you know, anytime the weather's nice. I'm going commercial fishing, you know, commercial bottom fishing. I love to catch gags. Yep, there's a nice gag and a button. I just love commercial bottom fishing. That's my favorite thing to do. And just anytime I can go fish, I want to be fishing. I mean, that is where I like to be. I'll say this, I like to kill stuff. I like to kill fish. I like to kill a lot of fish. So, you know, anytime I can get out there and I can fill the box, it's a lot of fun. And especially making a paycheck off of it too. That really gives you a little extra courage. But
got to kill it to make that paycheck, don't you?
Yes,
one way or the other.
Yeah,
that's good stuff. So, well, guys, says springboarding off of that, Kole, you being the oldest at 17, you know, and things change as you grow and you mature and you get older like me. A lot of things change in life, but right now, what do you see in the next, you know, period of time in your next 10-year period? Let's say, what is your focus? What would you like to see yourself doing? And it, you know, it's hard to answer that question. You probably get it a lot from school, from friends, things like that. But as you go through this, all of you are very mature. You have a different perspective on life than what a lot of young men your age would have, or young women that would have. The perspective that you have, what is your goal? What is your focus? Where do you see yourself? I hate saying where do you see it in 5 or 10 years, but where do you see yourselves going in 5 or 10 years with this? Why would you do it any other reason at 15, 16, and 17 years old? You know?
Mm-hmm. I can see myself building boats. I want to do that and make some nice boats and get good at that, and obviously make my own, but obviously sell them too.
Sure.
And get my name out there for that. I enjoy looking at the finish of a boat once you complete it. And definitely tournament fishing if I can keep on affording it.
Understand.
Yeah.
Mom and dad say, as long as you can pay for it, you can do it.
They fund me for it, and if I do good and win some money, I got to pay them back for the things. But I'm pretty good about buying. I buy all my own tackle, rods.
Nice.
And catch all my own bait, so that saves a little bit of money.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
For sure. Carson, how about you, buddy? What's your goal? What are your thought processes of what you would like to see yourself doing? You're at 15, the youngest of this crew, but very mature young man. You've come up in a mature environment. What do you see?
I'm definitely going to keep the tournament fishing and, you know, commercial fish a little bit, but engineering's what I want to. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
I mean, you know, you got Randall Edens, and then you got Ethan. They're doing their own thing, have their own businesses, and doing pretty well for themselves as
Sure
engineers. Just that, and then but just keep on fishing. Keep on fishing and hunt. That's my two things that I live and breathe every day.
So from your side, this is going to be interesting right here, because Kole, you're seeing yourself as from the manufacturing standpoint and taking control of a business from the I feel it, I see it, I can control it type thing, and I can develop something in that manner. Carson, you're like the competitive nature's there. You want to continue to compete. You want to keep whipping people in the water and that kind of thing, but you've got a thought process of a career beyond fishing, if you will. So, but that being a big part of your life, is that correct?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. And Brayden, so this will be interesting.
Yes, sir. I think I mentioned I've gotten real big into the sport fish stuff, a lot of your blue marlins and white marlins and sailfish stuff. And my parents, well, I'd say my dad's more open, but my mom really wants me to go to a 4-year college and do that, do the normal path. But what I'm really wanting to do And hopefully what can happen is I'd like to spend, as soon as I graduate high school, spend, a good 5 years just traveling, getting on a real good boat, traveling to Costa Rica and going to the Dominican Republic and the Bahamas, coming up through the East Coast. I mean, I just love to compete in tournaments. That's just another aspect of fishing that I love to do. And so anytime I can compete, especially getting paid for it, getting paid is nice. I like money.
Yeah,
I think
for
it's
sure.
y'all do as well. Money's nice, but just finding out, figuring a way of what I love to do, how to make what I love to do into a career, which I'm super fortunate with my family businesses. I can hopefully go do that for a few years, then come back home and help pursue the family businesses and keep those rolling along.
So you've got interest enough in that you want to continue to pursue that as well to help your family
Yes, sir, of
continue
course.
that tradition.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's unique, guys. Go ahead, John.
That's a great segue, Brayden. One of the follow-up or final question I've got is a destination and a species. Like what's on the bucket list for you three? And I'm not sure if Kole can hear me, so hopefully if Carson or Brayden want to go first, maybe he can pick up the question.
You want to go, Carson?
Yeah, I want to go. I want to go to Cabo. Go to Cabo, Panama, Guatemala, somewhere of that nature, and go. I want to go catch a rooster fish real bad, and I just want to go. I want to go get on a billfish bite. That's just an incredible billfish bite. Like I've had last year, I had the opportunity to fish the kids' Big Rock on the Goon Bay, and just seeing the sonar, that new Omni sonar is crazy, and seeing that work, and just doing everything, and seeing them come up on the teaser, just an adrenaline rush, knowing that you got 3 or 4 sailfish on the teaser sitting right there, and you're feeding them out of your hand. I mean, it's like finesse flounder fishing with a sailfish. I mean, not putting any pressure on them and just trying to hook one, and it's awesome to see the different fishing. Like, I mean, we king mackerel tournament fish all the time, and it's also going and seeing the blue water fishing and the bill fishing and the wahoo fishing and the dolphin fishing and everything. Just going and seeing all that aspects of everything too. Just amazing to see just different parts of the world and their culture towards different types of fishing.
Well, you're going to really enjoy our next podcast on the 21st.
Yes.
You're definitely going to want to. You're definitely going to want to be part of that because we got a really cool guest coming up. We'll share that in a minute. But
I was just
Kole,
thinking the same thing.
Kole, the question that John had, I know you couldn't hear him, but was what's the destination that you'd like to go, and then what would be a targeted species that you'd like to pursue?
I'd say Bermuda, Portugal, or Costa Rica. You get a big blue marlin, and get some billfish for sure. That'd be pretty cool. I got 2 buddies that mate on boats right now. One of them goes to Portugal in like 2 weeks, and the other one goes to Bermuda in 2 weeks. And those are both the kids that fish my team.
Oh, nice.
So I got 2 tournaments left to fish with them till they get back. I think they're gone for 4 months.
So you're a little jealous.
Yeah, definitely. I might visit them out there for like
there you
last week, maybe.
Good for you, man. Very good. Well, Brayden, for somebody who's done a whole lot of those things, I think you've been fortunate enough to do a lot of what some of these guys just mentioned. What's your next bucket list location and species?
Yes, sir. I've been super fortunate, as you said, to go a lot of places. I've been to the Azores, Portugal. I think I sent you a picture. We got to fish a couple days over there. Super cool deal. My dad got to run the boat, and I got to fish the deck.
Oh, nice.
We got to do it how we wanted it. We called 800.
Wow.
So give or take, I haven't seen one that big before, but I've seen some big ones.
Y'all seen some big fish. Your dad knows what a big fish is.
Yes, sir.
We weren't there to see it either, so we're good with 800.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
I've been to Bermuda. I fished the Gulf. I've been to Guatemala. I've been to Costa Rica. I've been super fortunate to fish all those places, see some incredible fisheries. But I would say one that I really want to do is I want to go to Mag Bay and see the striped marlin bite like that. That is something really cool. I see there's been some guys posting some videos recently that I've been loving to watch of them catching striped marlins and stuff down there. I think I'm sure y'all have seen it on social media when they get those bait balls schooled up, cutting through the bait balls. It's just incredible to see,
Wow.
Just super cool.
That's awesome. Well, guys, just a couple more minutes here. Let's roll through. There's so many other things that we didn't get a chance to cover, but y'all have been gracious and you've been very forthcoming and with great information. I hope the people watching it just really understand your talent level, your commitment, the family that each of you have that has supported you in this. Your parents and your extended family, I'm sure, all the way from grandparents it's an honor to be able to know each of you and for each of you to be part of this. And I know your family members, certainly Brayden and Carson and Kole, and just everything I've heard about your family is tremendous as well. And so as we move through the next few things, I'd like to just get you guys a few questions if we can. Is there, without naming teams, is there any teams that you focused on and said, you know what, we want to whip this team. We want to. Is that a focus for you guys in any way, shape, or form? Again, you don't have to name anything, but is that as in the competitive side of what we do? I know it's not putting a ball through a hoop, it's not throwing a touchdown, it's not hitting a grand slam or something like that, but there's still a competitive nature to what we do, and we're competing against ourselves and we're competing against others. So is there a little bit of a focus there? Is that something that y'all focus on, a few that if you beat them, you feel pretty good about it?
Yes, sir. I would say really, through a year, there's normally a few boats that have a really good year that do very well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always being in that top group, being one of those top boats that consistently does well every time. I think my goal, especially for tournament fishing, especially down here in the South during the summer, is if I can catch a 30-plus pounder every tournament in the South, then I'm super happy. A 30-pounder down here is like a 50 when you go up to Hatteras when they're biting up there.
Right.
So
yeah, so the focus on being a part of the elite group is what you're really focused on.
Yes, sir. Just being that person whenever people pull up to a spot, oh, well, look who's here, all right, we're in a good spot, they're here, or, oh, well, look, he's leaving, maybe we need to go check that out. But don't follow me. I don't think you want to follow me after how last year went. We didn't do so hot last year, but
that's the only thing about fishing, man. You can't control it no matter how good you are. They still got a choice. That's you present and you do everything you can, and sometimes it just doesn't happen. And but so when it comes to your preference, guys, Carson, big fish, aggregate, or points? What would you prefer when you're fishing events or fishing as a competitive environment? What would you rather chase?
The big fish tournaments are always fun. Getting you go catch a 45, 50 pounder. You feel like you got a chance to be at the top. Any tournament really. Now November in Hatteras is 55 to 60 pounders most of the time is going to win, and then you get the aggregate. Like our mentality, every time we leave the dock in the South, we go try to win the double barrel. It's just a fun, if you catch two fish in the summertime, Brayden, Mark, John, everybody, then it's just like if you can have two king mackerel bites in the summertime, it's like catching 15 in the fall.
Yeah. No matter what size they are, you put two in the boat, you're done good, right?
Oh yeah. You got a chance to get double barrel money or aggregate money with two fish.
That's right.
Because if you summertime bites, you may get one bite or you might not have a bite all day. And if you miss that one opportunity, there's a very good chance you're not going to have another one.
Understood. That is for sure. So Kole, early on in your career, are you a risk it guy? Are you want to play it safe, go to where you feel like you can catch whatever a respectable fish is? Or you're like, you know what? I know I want to catch a big fish. What do you want to try to do if you got a choice?
I like getting a big fish. There's really only two areas. I mean, there's a couple areas up here. Typically where the tournaments are, it's typically north or south. It's not usually out of Fort Pierce, where people get big ones. And there's been a couple of years. There's always consistently fish caught north and south, but south's more of kite fishing. And they got a lot clearer water, and the sharks are just as bad too, but more people, because it's only about a 2-mile run out for them. So you have everybody from flats boats to Vikings and all the customs out there. So it makes it a little bit more hard. But I like going south and risking it, I would say, or north and risking it.
I'm with you. So you'd rather strike out and but give yourself a chance for a big fish.
100%. Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm with you. Good stuff. Well, very good, guys. As your final thoughts, what one real quick thing, are y'all aware of how, as young men, I would encourage you to be aware, and I'm sure you are, of how much support you have from your family, how much your parents care about you, how much you mean to them, and the time that they spend with each of you to help you learn, to help you focus on your dream, to be able to chase some things that, quite frankly, there's a lot of young men in this world just do not have these opportunities that we've all had and that you have. So, is there anything that you'd like to, anything there that you'd like to share or say? You have this platform, and not trying to get you to be all mushy and gushy about it, but it's obvious that all three of you guys have very caring parents and that you care about. Carson,
Yes,
fire away, man. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, pretty much everything I've learned when it comes to fishing's come from my dad. And, he's always anybody you need to talk to. He's always your guy. He just loves to talk to people. And then my mom, she's always supportive, making sure we're looked after, making sure that when we're getting back at 9:30 at night from fishing and we're dragging in late and doing stuff, that we're always looked after. And then you got David and Scott. They're practically like my uncles. They're with us all the time, and just love them to pieces, just fishing with them, and hope for many more years to come.
There you go.
Awesome.
Brayden, talk a little. You've talked a lot about your mom and dad, and
Yes, sir.
it's been a pretty special run for you, huh?
Yes, sir. I've
Got a long way to go.
Yeah, it's I couldn't ask for better parents, and I'm sure it's the same for y'all. I know my parents want me to succeed in every aspect of life. They want me to do well overall, not just fishing, but in school and in a career. But I really, really have been lucky. I wouldn't rather fish with any other person than to fish with my father. Would be something I would say. I would say he's my best friend, to be honest. I would rather fish and just rather be around him than any other person on this earth. And my mom, she's always been supportive. We got home the other night at 10:30, and I had to unpack the boat and repack it with ice to go wake up at 4 a.m. and go again the next morning. She had dinner made for me, set out. I ended up walking to the house at 1 o'clock in the morning. She had dinner laid out for me, just loving parents that want me to succeed.
Hard to beat that support. That's
Yes,
for
sir.
sure. So Kole, I know obviously your mom and dad support you in similar ways, huh?
Yes. A lot of support from my dad and my mom. My dad helps me out with everything I need, and supportive, and same with my mom. Like Brayden was saying, making sure I'm fed, and making sure I'm getting home on time, and just helping me out with everything. And then pretty much my second mom, Devin Reed, who runs the Brand Reed Foundation, does so much for me too. And just really amazing to see that, and feel like I have people watching over me and all of that. It's amazing.
Well, all of you are very mature young men, and being able to share those experiences and truly share the feelings about that is important. I know as a parent how important that is, and to know that your children and that you care so much about do have that respect and appreciation for it. And I would encourage you your whole life to make sure that they're aware and know. And I know you do. And because we're all given a wonderful opportunity to spend it with our families. And, you young men have taken great advantage of that. You're all very professional. You're fine young men. And our sport is in very, very good hands with people like you. There are other great ones out there too. We're fortunate to have all three of you as part of this sport and leading the next generation of fishermen. That's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it, guys. And, you guys hear the term all the time, right? Kids these days, and Brad just hit it on the head. If kids these days are anything like the three of you, we're going to be just fine. We're going
to be all right.
So thank you guys all for your time. I really appreciate it. Kole, I hate that you can't hear me, but this has been a lot of fun. We've gone about an hour and 45 now. So, we'll definitely keep us posted on your journeys as you move forward, in your fishing careers and in life. We're all looking forward to following along with you guys and seeing, where this takes you.
Fellas, it's been a true honor. And time goes quickly. There's a lot more questions but hopefully you've enjoyed it. We appreciate you being part of this. And, you're going to have a lot of people that look up to each of you, for the rest of your lives, really. And I would encourage you to stay focused and continue to work hard. And you guys are going to be all right. Our sport's in good hands, and I'm proud of each of you.
And good luck this weekend for all three of you. It sounds like you guys all got events. So
that's right.
All right, gentlemen, y'all have a great night.
Guys, we appreciate it very much. Thank you so much. Tell your parents I thank them. They were very gracious for, responding that it was okay for all three of you guys to get on here too, because I reached out to them to make sure that was okay. So they're very, very, very much appreciated. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good deal,
nice
guys.
to talk to you, Carson, and nice to meet you, Kole. Hopefully we can
Yes,
meet
sir.
later on. Maybe I'll make it down to Fort Pierce next year.
Yeah, we'll go dive and maybe fish a couple tournaments.
We're not diving. I'm not diving.
It's clear down here.
I'll stay in the boat. I'm in the boat person.
Brayden, I'll see you this weekend.
Hey,
Yes, man. Yes,
I
sir.
bet he had you down there doing it.
Yeah.
Very good.
All right,
well, guys, we appreciate it.
Y'all have a good night. Buddy.
Thank you, fellas.
Man, that was fantastic.
Wow.
Those are three
Wow.
special young men.
Yeah, well, I thought it was great, man. It was special young men who are able to communicate and share their experiences. I mean, this is not an easy thing for them. I mean, it's a camera in front of your face. You see yourself on the screen, but all of them handle themselves in a professional manner and just like they would, just like every one of their parents are as well. And kudos to their parents, really and truly. I think they deserve big shout outs for raising such fine young men. And I know that, with they have siblings and friends and all that too that are also receive that care and appreciation from their parents.
No doubt about it, man. Well, we've 5 episodes in, and one of the common themes is family. So
yeah, man,
it's important to you. It's important to I, and without families, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. So.
Yeah, man. I couldn't see these young guys. I mean, I think back about, my kids and them coming up through it and how much they were just like this. I mean, they were consumed with it. And, and to this day, 22-3 years later, man, they still want to be with the old man. I don't know if they want to be with me, but they are with me, and I appreciate that. And then with Audrey in the background controlling and moving the pieces around, making sure everybody's taken care of, just like Brayden was talking about Amy, man. She's there for it, and the support. And obviously with Michelle and Carrie, with Kole, I mean, my goodness, the support system's fantastic. And I could go on and don't want to do that, man, but what a great show. I mean, I hope people enjoyed it and seeing these young men, and it's exciting to be able to do this. And next episode next Thursday is going to be a fun one, John.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Carson's talking about going fish Mag Bay, and man, the guy we're going to have on next week set a world record for releases in Mag Bay, along with some friends of his, and good guy I've known a long time, world-renowned marine artist Kerry Chen is going to be joining us.
Excited about that, man. That's going to be fun. So for all of those who are still on or that watch this a little later, Kerry has committed to coming on the show on the 21st, 8 o'clock Thursday. I'll send that out on the Facebook page and make sure that everybody is aware. What a great guy. What an incredible amount of knowledge this man has too, worldwide.
Sure.
You know, these young men, we're talking about where to go. Kerry's been to all of them, and he can probably share every bit of that information with these young men. So he's going to be able to join the audience and give them something that will be pretty special.
Yeah, no, we're definitely looking forward to it. So, well, good luck this weekend, buddy.
All right, man. We'll give it our best.
Some good weather, and I know Chad's and his team, they're going to put on a killer event as always. So
yeah, we're excited.
Keep
about
us
that.
posted and figure out. We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, man. Looking forward to being down there, Captain's meeting on Thursday night, seeing all the folks that will be in the South. So, folks, we can't thank you enough for the Control the Edge podcast, Liquid Fire Fishing, Legend Fishing Team. If you have any requests, guests, we'll do our best to get them. And hopefully you're enjoying the series. Sometimes we get a little long-winded, but that one was worth it, I think.
I agree, guys. Like, subscribe, the YouTube page, and then, on Amazon Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, on the audio version. We're going to get it released, released first thing tomorrow morning. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great night.
We'll see you soon.